Rough Justice 84 takes place in Seneca City. It's a fictional city that's loosely based on New York. And we take on the role of Jim Baylor, who's a kind of former super cop who is framed for murder. But when new evidence arises that proves his innocence, we return to Seneca to find that crime is just completely out of control. So we team up with our old partner Hank, who is running a private security agency. Yeah, so it was definitely something that we looked into. I think obviously we wanted to find a good balance between kind of authenticity of the time period, but we were also researching, kind of popular culture from that time, and also this kind of very exaggerated version of the 80s. And then obviously there's a kind of 20th century World War II component to the history of our game as well. So obviously that was something that we had to be very respectful of and make sure that we did our research. So while I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a super realistic depiction of history, I think we definitely take fragments of that and use that to kind of enrich our story. Yeah, so there's always going to be, on any project, there's always a bit of a tightrope to walk when it comes to tone. So obviously when we're dealing with kind of these big 80s kind of imagery, it's very tongue-in-cheek, there's kind of an element of satire to it, it's very kind of fun and bold, and we don't take it too seriously, but at the same time there are elements to the game that are very serious and deal with very serious topics. As a Jewish person, I think it's really cool that we have a Jewish protagonist, and that features in the story in quite a kind of meaningful and prevalent way. I think it's always important when you're talking about these kind of subjects where there are very clear victims to kind of show the story from the victim's perspective, I think, and to really kind of honor and respect that. So for me personally, it was very personally gratifying to be able to work on a project where I could actually explore that a little bit. So yeah, that was something that I think had quite a profound effect on me, actually. Well, what was interesting with this project is that I actually had a lot of the art assets before I formulated the characters, so that was really useful in getting a sense of who they are. And the artists on our team were extremely talented, so there's so much kind of little hints and nuances in the way they look, whether it's a kind of smirk that they've got on their face or the clothes that they're wearing. So having that as a resource to kind of develop those characters was like extremely useful.